Why, hello. My name is Paul O'Brien. Please come join me by this gorgeous fire. You're right on time. We wanted to share some stories about startups, stories about failures, successes, stories of our experiences as founders, as mentors, investors. I have a collection of stories that I'd love to share with you. This collection has been put together over the years. I got involved in startups in, at the turn of the millennia. It's been a while. And in that time, I've seen thousands and worked with hundreds through incubators and accelerators by way of places like Silicon Valley and Austin, Texas. I'd love to share one of these stories with you. This from an author I'm sure you're familiar with, perhaps fondly. Oh, the startups that go. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're starting a startup, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have new business shoes. You'll be your own boss. You have nothing to lose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the founder who decides how to grow. You'll talk to advisors. You'll meet investors out there. About some you will say, they don't get it. That blank stare with your head full of brains and your butt in your seat. You're too smart to go down. You can't fail on your feet. You may not want help, but you'll still fight going down. In that case, just know most will give you a frown. Because there's helpers out there in the startup scene and on air. Out there, things will happen and frequently do to people who try and start something like you. When those things happen, don't worry, don't stew, just keep right on going, knowing you must pivot to do. Oh, the startups that go. You'll get that site up. You'll be patenting rights. You'll join startup communities and stay up through the nights. You can't lag behind. Get live with most speed. You must beat the gang or they'll take the lead. But if you just try, you can be the best. And if you work together, you can top the rest. Except when you don't. And most of you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true. As sole founder, we're certain this will happen to you. You will get hung up on a funding pitch. And as advice rambles on, you'll feel stuck in a ditch. And then to dig from that ditch with loads of advice, the chances are then that you'll smack someone twice. When working a startup, it's different work fun. And startuping yourself is not easily done. You will come to ideas where outcomes aren't known. Some decisions are tougher. Some will help you be grown. Somehow you will make it. All the ideas advising, you'll find the right answers from patience and trying. With your website up now, attention will fly. Then you're ready for anything. Ready to give it that try. Oh, startups that go, there's work to be done. There are investors to score. There are demos to get done. The magical things that you can do with your startup will put people to work as your business gets going. Then relief. You'll have a company to see. And the whole world is watching for you to succeed. Except when you don't. And mostly you won't. I'm afraid to inform you, you'll be lonely there too. Since you usually can't win, it seems all against you. Founding alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll experience a lot. And when you're founding alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that pull you from your circumstance. Somewhere down the road between startup and company, there are some things that will discourage you. Actually, many. But on you must go, though trials push you to fail. On you must go, though others may bail. On you must go, though detractors will wail. Onward with every repetitive next pitch, though your keyboard gets sore and new ideas itch. On endeavor, and your startup will go far. You'll tackle those problems, whatever they are. You'll fail every day. And you certainly should know you'll get misled with strange customers that go. So be sure when you start up, step with tests and pivots. Know that entrepreneurship's of noble intent. Just never forget to be fluid and to flow and to keep to your mission as you start up and grow. Will you succeed? Why, yes. Well, you might. But yes, indeed. 1 to 5%, near certainly guaranteed. Founders move mountains. So, though you are lean, agile, or combatant, or product, marketing, a dev with a patent, you're into the races. Today's a new day. Your paycheck is waiting when that startup goes your way. Wonderful, wonderful moral of the story, I suppose, is that the startups that go refers to both ways, doesn't it? Most startups go away. Most startups go south. Some go well. Some succeed. Through tremendous amounts of advice, conversations with investors, people that want to tell you you're wrong, people that want to tell you you're right. Challenge to work through is fighting that fight. And it takes that team, it takes those people referred to in that story. It takes those people who work with you, want to work with you, will make the same sacrifices, will round out that skill set of dev and marketing and sales. Some people who are agile, some people who are lean. Building a startup doesn't come with a book. There's no answers in which you can look. I started my first startup, a young lad of 22, much like most of you. I'm sorry, I'll stop with the rhymes, unless we have more fun with these times. I started when I was 22, and I learned these painful experiences myself. Long before MediaTech Ventures, which we're working on now to help startups be successful. When I started, I had experience from Hewlett-Packard and working in the shopping business, the e-commerce business at HP back in the early 2000s. Yeah. Before that, I was at Yahoo, as a great many of us are in the startup scene and working with internet companies and venture capitalists. And so full of exuberance and confidence. Confidence, by the way, being a dangerous notion as a founder. You need to have confidence. You need to be more certain than anybody else in many ways. And you certainly need to exude that confidence that you're right. Imagine exciting and convincing other people to take risks as great as the risk that you're taking. If you're not certain, if you're not confident, rest assured no one else can be. However, that confidence is how we also make mistakes. How we also confirm our own biases. We prove ourselves right with just a little bit of validation. We're certain that we're correct, that we know better, that we can do it ourselves without those teams. And that's what I did. Flush with that experience, I built an e-commerce site back in, at the turn of the millennium. It was called Juice Stores. I still have the business cards somewhere. I mean, how many of you have business cards these days? I don't, but this was a time when we still had business cards because that's how you promoted the thing that you were working on. Juice Stores, it referred to electronics, electricity, but it was e-commerce, and so I had drop shipping in place. I knew how to build the website, to build the e-commerce experience. I knew how to put payments in place, payment platforms in place. I had a drop shipping partner, and I was ready to go. I was doing it myself. Why? Because I didn't need anything else. I didn't need anybody else. I knew how to do all of those things. And within a couple of months, I had that bias confirmed. I was making money. Now, granted, not much. For those of you that have tried e-commerce, those of you that have tried affiliate marketing and drop shipping, the margins are pretty razor thin. And so I wasn't making much money, but it was working. And my girlfriend and I at the time, wife of my 3 kids now, we were thrilled because at that young age, I had figured it out. I had proven I could start a business and start a company. Not a week or two later, things got even more exciting. My revenues quadrupled, increased tenfold, 100-fold if I'm being frank. In that third month, we booked somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 in revenue. 3 months into starting a business. And then the FBI called. The FBI called to investigate what kind of businesses I was running. They wanted to look at my books. They wanted to look at the security of the infrastructure that I had in place. They wouldn't really clue me into why, but I had no choice. I had no legal experience. I had no choice but to, of course, respect their interests, their intentions, give them a sense for what I was doing. But because I had no finance experience, I had no accounting experience, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a bookkeeper, I'm not an operations person. Like I said, I'm certainly not a lawyer. I was missing so many things, and so I had little to show. Well, what the FBI uncovered was that most of that business was fraudulent. 99% of that business was fraudulent. And so I had just spent $80,000 to buy a product, to drop ship it to people that were never going to pay me for what they had purchased. It was a painful lesson in team building, a painful lesson in how startups go, that they go south more often than not. But to avoid going south, it just takes those people smarter than you, people with more experience than you, to fill the gaps in what you can and can't do. Sorry, I'm rhyming again. That's enough of the stories. Thank you for joining me. I'd love to see you again here soon. So be sure to subscribe. I'll keep the fire on. It's warm here. And I'll see you next time.